All right, everybody. We are rounding the home stretch. I want to thank all of the stalwarts for sticking with us for what's really been a great day. One last panel of sorts. We're always working. We're always trying to innovate at the BPC to make this a special event. And so we are now going to have the first ever proud partisan Entergy lightning round. See, one of the things about all of my dear political friends is they can talk a little bit, which is generally good. But we think that it's good practice for our panelists to have stark, absolute rules. So we will be cutting off their microphones when necessary. We have also decided to make this a slightly partisan exercise because, as we've said before, we think partisanship, constructive partisanship, is the core of our democracy. So we do have a blue team, Kiki. All right. We're asking everyone to hold their applause till the end of the debate. We also have a red team. And most important, as I think you may have realized, in addition to our very practiced pundits, we are thrilled to be joined by two of our student ambassadors. So working with Team Blue is Dwayne Fontanetter. Dwayne is a poli-sci and public relations major from Loyola. And on the red team, we are joined by Ainsley Fagan. Ainsley studies international relations and French right here at Tulane. So here are the rules. I am going to pose a prescient question to both teams at once about the future of the democracy. They are going to have 30 seconds to caucus. Then the team captains, who are Mary and James, will announce their answer and pick one member of the team to spend 60 seconds and no more explaining and justifying the basis of their response.
That's a lot of work.
It is. I am only offended by the fact that I can't pace across the stage like Chuck Woolery. So we will begin. Question number one is, will we tumble over the fiscal cliff? You have 30 seconds.
Sure, I give it away.
Okay, folks, this is the lightning round. Let's go.
Cameras. I mean, that was an awesome presentation.
Democrats are done.
Good idea.
They're indecisive. They're trying to
They
find
are.
their way out of the forest over there.
Okay, that's why
We're
they're
deliberative.
done, because we're actually thinking about it.
All right, well, so Mary, you have the floor. Mary, your answer?
We just know what we stand for. That's all right.
And you're sitting down.
Your
We've
answer.
chosen, our answer is no, and we have chosen our student ambassador, Ainsley, to say why.
All right, let me get the blue team answer, and then we will have Ainsley present. Blue team?
James, that's us.
Us. All right, we actually, unfortunately, but bipartisanship rules today, we agree no.
All right. Let's hear why.
Well, it's because we were elected to govern, and as we talked about it in the panel here, we can't have this happen. It's just too great a consequence for the country. The president has made very clear that he wants to work in a reasonable way. He's willing to compromise. He's willing to try to meet the Republicans where he can. I think they understand that it has to happen and that we have to figure out a way to get around this. And so I don't think we'll go over the cliff.
Yeah.
Very upbeat. Ainsley?
We've definitely agreed that there's way too much at risk for both parties if we went over said financial cliff. And we think it's really important to work together and not go over that. And as elected officials, well, not myself, but as our elected officials, it's really important for us to represent the needs of the country. And, we don't want to go over that cliff. So we're definitely going to say no, and that we are going to trust in bipartisanship.
Fantastic. Now, I will also note, core to the functioning of our government is accountability. And as this is a tradition, we are recording these answers, and we will be coming back year after year.
I think you need to send
test
that
your
video
response.
to CNN because Ainsley's got a contract waiting.
That's true.
We could have done that in French.
All right, here's a little looser question. Who will be a surprise nominee in the president's second term?
It's mine. It's mine. Go, they have inside information.
You know, cabinet position. All right, folks. Lock in that answer.
Team of rivals, we protest.
You're going to be great.
Stand up
All
for
right,
the
we're going to flip the order. Blue team answer first.
Okay.
Mr. Carville.
I want to turn it over. I'm going to yield to the gentleman from Loyola University. Why don't you tell us the answer?
Absolutely. So we are convinced that it's going to be Bill Clinton for Secretary of Treasury, as he is the Secretary of Splaining Things, as Barack Obama said during the campaign. And it's all about the math and the arithmetic. And so he'll be right next door, and he'll have access to his best friend.
That would be a shocker.
There you go.
Well, we're going to protest on the grounds that they have inside information. But if it is Bill Clinton, you're not going back in.
No.
And so in comporting with our protest, we are having who we would like to be in the administration and served up by our millennial champ.
Well, we have recommendations because in the context of a President Obama who is going to reunite the country in the name of bipartisanship, also given that Doris Kearns Goodwin and Team of Rivals was such an inspiration for him at the beginning of his first term, and the Lincoln movie is coming out so he can be reminded of the theme of Rivals. We also think the most qualified person really to talk about budgets, debt, deficit, the OMB director should be Paul Ryan. We think,
It gets better.
we think, I like that one. I thought this was the bipartisan policy. So you'll like this. If you liked that, you'll also agree with me that given that Mitt Romney has really a really unparalleled experience in business, he could be a wonderful Secretary
Wait, how
of
many
Commerce.
answers do they get?
And one more. And that
Just keep going.
John McCain should be Secretary of Defense.
There you
Three
go.
recommendations.
Maybe for a happy hour, but for a cabinet meeting?
Obviously not a bipartisan audience, so we can't.
You have to
think we
dream.
won that.
You have to
Orleans
dream.
You have
I think
to.
All
I
right.
won that round for us.
A more serious question, just a couple more. Will Congress pass broad-based immigration reform legislation before the midterm elections?
Yeah.
All right, choose or lose, folks. So, red team, what is your view on this complex question?
Well, we'd like to point out that it probably could get stuck in the Senate like the last time because it's still controlled by Democrats. Let me just point that out. But as we talk about comprehensive immigration reform, which was proposed by the predecessor to Barack Obama, our man Witt's going to speak for us.
Well, our consensus judgment is that it is very unlikely that we will solve all the problems with immigration reform, including the toughest problem, what to do with the 10 to 12 million undocumented immigrants who are here before 2014. But we do think there's a reasonable chance you could get Marco Rubio's version of the DREAM Act through, perhaps a temporary worker program, and an expansion of high-end visas through by the midterm.
James?
Yes, I'm just going to briefly say that, as I said this morning, everybody has a plan to hit them in the mouth. They're going to be dying to vote for some kind of immigration reform now. Even Sean Hannity has changed, but Kiki has given a lot of thought to this, so I'm going to let her finish, take it off here.
By the midterms, yes. Not necessarily by the summer, but by the midterms, yes, because the Republicans have to recognize what is the reality in the United States today. Not just because it's the right thing to do, but we can appeal to the most basic elementary instincts of the economy and what must be done for the economy. And so while you may want to challenge the Senate, I do have the former spokesperson to the Speaker of the House in a particular era when that may have occurred, and I think he would fight back and say that there is this possibility, because if your leaders are brave enough in the Republican Party, they will make this happen.
All right.
All right, final question. Will the president initiate an unexpected policy initiative, large or small? And if so, what? All right, final answer. See, the party of big government has too many choices. All right, James, bring it home. What's your view?
Go ahead. This may not be so popular in Louisiana, but what the hell, we're not going to win it anyway.
He's going to be honest. He's going to be honest.
We're speaking truth here.
Yeah.
Well, there's one thing that we can do that will help with the environment and also help close the budget deficit, and that's you can actually go to a carbon tax. And even the president of Exxon is for a carbon tax. Because I knew it wouldn't be popular in Louisiana, but we are going to be struggling to close that budget deficit, and that is a major revenue source that does not include raising tax rates. And it's also like the president of Exxon said: if you're going to tax something that hurts you, tax something that's for the public good. Don't tax investment, don't tax savings. Tax something that will actually do some good. And so I think that could be something we have to consider.
So we got Rex Tillerson and Barack Obama. What a pair.
Together again.
Going again. All
All
right.
right, there's a solid prediction. Mary?
As we know, the more you tax something, the less you get of it, but there's nothing that you guys want to do that doesn't involve taxes, is there?
We need less carbon.
But if you really want to do that, you do nuclear. This is in the spirit of bipartisanship. We had no idea. We've chosen the same issue.
Yeah, so we also want to talk about energy, and we figured that the president would realize that Cylinder was such a bad investment that he would start exploring other energy options, and he would surprise us all by approving the pipipeline, the natural gas pipeline.
I think that's not a surprise.
He's going to do that anyway.
He can't. He said he stopped it in his first term, so I think it would be a surprise
Stopped
if
it
he
for
were to change his
procedural
mind.
reasons.
Yep.
All right, well,
we'll
folks,
give it to him. We'll
this
give it to
was I want to thank all of our contestants. This was a terrific experiment and demonstration of the fact that you can have different beliefs but still enjoy each other's company. So thank you for that. All right, we have one final order of business. Just stick with me for 45 seconds. So much of the political world is about prediction. We decided many months ago to put together a political poll. We had 10 questions about the presidency and the electoral count and who would take the House and the Senate and some tough races. We have shared that poll with probably 150 or so folks, political pundits, congressional staff, several of the people on this stage who will remain nameless, a number of students, and we are now like to announce the winner. And the winner is none of you. The winner is a Tulane student, Cara Angelini. I think, Cara, if you're out there, please come on up the stage. Cara is a sophomore from Oak Park, Illinois. She is studying political science. She has a minor in French. Cara tells us that the key to her victory was a little bit of democratic optimism that just happened to come true. Cara, you are the first recipient of the Bipartisan Policy Center 2012 Annual Political Summit All-Star. So here you are. Thanks, everybody. We're all done.
Very nice meeting you.